document in its entirety.
Prasenjit, now of course the left has been much more consistent on this ideologically than the BJP. So that question
Yes.
can't be thrown at you. We'd have to grant you that. But the larger question becomes a political question that in a sense, aren't you doing the Congress a favor by virtually stalling Parliament on this one issue of FDI? Everything else is off the table. Black money is gone, Lokpal is gone, price rise is gone, and nothing may happen in the winter session because of FDI.
No, I think that that's not really, I don't look at the issue in that manner. I think that the other issues that are very relevant, I'm sure that they are going to come up in this session itself. But I don't want to underplay the importance of the FDI and retail issue, because it concerns the lives and livelihoods of a very vast segment of our population. And for your information, this is the second biggest employer in our country after agriculture. So it employs about over 4 crore, that's 40 million people. If you just go by the average family size in India, you are talking about a fifth of our population, about 16 to 20 crore
But
people.
yet, Prasenjit, most of our states have not even executed the Model APMC Act, which is the Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee Act that would give a better produce to farmers. And we're huffing and puffing only because the government has brought in FDI.
No, but that's the whole point. You see, ideally, I find this argument to be very funny. That Walmart or Tesco or Carrefour is suddenly coming to India to build cold chains. They are not. They are coming to India because they want to build up retail outlets. Now you are trying to impose some condition to sell it to the farmers. Now who is the great representative of the farmer who has stood up and welcomed this? It is Mr. Prakash Singh Badal. You find all the states where there are small farmers of our country, from UP to Orissa to West Bengal, all the entire eastern India today is up in arms because the farming landscape of our country is dominated by small and medium farmers who stand not only not to benefit, but I think they will be at the receiving end.
But we still haven't explored why, if Indian corporates can enter retail and not kill the Kirana store.
I wanted to respond to that.
Quickly to that because I wanted to take it to the other guest.
It's a very simple answer, scale. You just can't.
Reliance doesn't have the scale of Walmart. Mukesh Ambani doesn't have the scale. Mukesh Ambani doesn't have the scale.
But what is the harm of scale? If Barkha Dutt can buy her milk cheaper,
that's the whole
or if
point.
Prasenjit can buy his eggs cheaper, and the farmer doesn't get penalized because you've established...
Okay, wait. You can't have the two kinds of arguments. Firstly, you accept that the scale is an issue or not.
1 second,
I think scale is an issue. Scale is a very big issue. Walmart is a $400 billion retail giant. There is absolutely nothing.
So you're saying it would be...
Second point...
I've got you.
No, but if Mr. Suyal's argument is there, then I would say that please, I would support Mahatma Gandhi's argument. Being a communist, Mahatma Gandhi fought against the British because he thought that Manchester cloth is cheap. But it will destroy the Indian economy.
But Prasenjit, history evolves. Sorry, give me a second. Pinaki is still waiting to speak. But Kanchan, briefly to you. You spoke about the politics. You said, personally, I support the economics. The BJP wanted to bring this in. The BJP did not, but it wanted to in its manifesto.
No, I think the BJP subsequently did change its position. But more importantly, Prasenjit makes this point about Mahatma Gandhi and his campaign against foreign manufacturing.
Yes.
Let me also remind him that Mahatma Gandhi was mighty displeased with railways, and he thought that the railways were the biggest disaster to happen to India. So we don't have to agree with everything that Mahatma Gandhi said. He said a lot of things.
I'm not agreeing with everything, but certain things is very relevant.
He was mighty displeased.
Especially when livelihoods are concerned.
Prasenjit, let me ask you two simple questions.
Quickly,
are you supportive of a fair deal to farmers?
Bang on.
And are you supportive of infrastructure stretching between urban centers and rural producers?
All right, before Prasenjit answers that, Prasenjit, 1 minute. Pinaki's been waiting, and Pinaki, if I can ask you, we've seen the statement from the Biju Janata Dal, one of the many states, in fact there are 11 that are saying we're going to say no to this. But I've got to ask you, if POSCO and Vedanta are okay in Orissa, what's wrong with Walmart and Tesco?
True.
Well, I'll tell you, the opposition that the Biju Janata Dal has been articulated by our Chief Minister's letter to the Prime Minister today. It's a very well-crafted letter, and I think it should be released to the media by tomorrow. And you will find that, what the Chief Minister essentially has said is that this is a government which is under the hammer, for a number of reasons, for, policy paralysis, for not having controlled inflation. And this is a typically lazy response of the government to come out with something that, looks very attractive on the face of it, but really, in essence, doesn't do enough to address seminal issues. It doesn't do enough for the farmers.
So is your problem with the timing? Is your problem with the timing?
But
is your problem with the prioritization?
There is of course a fundamental issue about timing, but two other issues that I must touch upon because they've been debated all day. Firstly, Parliament has not been paralyzed over the last 6 days by the opposition. This is a completely erroneous impression. Parliament has been paralyzed by Congress MPs from Andhra Pradesh, and I'm surprised.
That's what happened on Thursday. That's what happened on Thursday. But today the BJP has said Parliament won't function.
I was in Parliament today. It is the Telangana MPs from Andhra Pradesh, from the Congress, who are in the forefront of the agitation there. And there's such shabby floor management by the ruling party, and nobody seems to comment on it.
Well, I have to tell you, it's telling how many Congress leaders are refusing to publicly participate in this debate. There is a division within. So hail a policy like this.
Of course there is.
Of course there is.
No,
I take that point.
But Barkha, we are all real people living in a real world.
Yeah.
You have to remember one thing. The politics apart, politics can't only be determined by populism. There must be an element of progressiveness. Now here's the situation. We often bash the government. If the government does, it's damned. If it doesn't,
it's damned.
It's damned. So what would have been
the ideal scenario? So it's paralyzed and weak if it does nothing?
But the point I'm making is that India is not this land of honey that the entire world must look at 24/7. I mean, if we don't have policies which are progressive, which attract investment, we will suffer. There are other countries on this planet as well.
Prasenjit, China, which is usually... One minute, Pinaki. China has allowed Walmart. I mean, China is not a country that the left does not have commonality with. Can't we learn anything from the Chinese model on this?
You see, that's the whole point. Firstly, if you're comparing India with China, especially the retail sector...
That is the big economic race.
No, that's, I think, a very inappropriate comparison, because you had in China, for a very long time, giant state-run, state-owned enterprises running supermarkets. And even today, the biggest supermarket chain in China is a state-owned enterprise.
We have cooperatives, we have Mother Dairy.
We've had ration shops?
No, yes, you have ration shops, but not hypermarkets.
Which never had rations.
No, but ration shops don't displace kirana stores. Hypermarkets do. But I would just request you to give me...
So, do you really believe that Godrej, Spencer's, Big Bazaar and Reliance...
they're all different. They're all different things.
Single
brand retail is a different thing.
And
Marks and Spencers are different thing.
Okay.
No, I would just like to make a couple of quick points, because points have been made.
I'll continue to ask you a question.
I think that's a very interesting question. You see, Mr. Gupta, when Mahatma Gandhi fought against Indian railways, he didn't succeed. When he fought for Indian cloth and Swadeshi, he succeeded and drove the British out. So that's the whole point, that all opposition may not be rational, but on FDI and retail, since it affects the livelihood of a very large segment of society, if you do a cost-benefit analysis, the losers vastly outnumber the gainers.
Okay, I'll take that to Kanchan and Pinaki in a second.
Which is not in national interest.
But look at how ingenious. Mahatma Gandhi is the only person who the communists and Anna Hazare, both with equanimity, can justify their actions.
Well, that's a whole different debate.
On this issue, why not?
Pinaki and Kanchan, to you quickly before we take a break. Kanchan,
Prosenjit didn't quite answer my question.
Yeah, but Kanchan,
she's not giving me time. I can answer all your questions. Ask her to give her more time. Your farmers and consumers question also, I have answers to that.
One minute.
You know what has happened in the United States.
1 minute. Let's take this beyond what's happening here. Kanchan and Pinaki, in a sense, globally, and this is a good point, there is a suspicion of the big money model. Occupy Wall Street comes from that. You're seeing governments across the world having to bail out all manners of corporations that have dug themselves into the ground. In India, you're seeing what's happening to the aviation sector. So the private sector is not actually smelling of roses right now. To say the least.
That doesn't mean I go back to my 1960s socialist past.
Okay. Okay, Pinaki, do you want to take that?
That is illogical.
Concentrated poverty in America, which really, Suhail Seth must immediately read, because it just gives a complete conspectus of what is pre-Walmart, post-Walmart, what's been the position in terms of both earnings as well as employment in the United States. That's number one. Number two, the Congress party's ministers all day have waxed eloquent that, they have the mandate to go through with this. I'm sorry, they don't have the mandate. They have 205, 6 odd MPs. They've lost some by-elections. with Jagan's rebellion in Andhra Pradesh, I think they are under 200
But
now.
FDI doesn't need Parliament's approval. It's a government decision.
Every single alliance partner,
but majority
it's a government
opposed.
decision which is a minority government. It is a minority government today on this issue, and no minority government can claim to have a mandate.
This is a fact.
So then they should ask for elections.
Okay, then is it worth a
adjournment
midterm
motion? That's a
Then
rational demand.
then why don't all these opposition
That's right.
parties
That's
ask
the reason
for a
we say
midterm
go for a
election?
No, but that's the logic of the adjournment motion. On this issue, the government is in a minority. That is why it is not going
But
for an
blackmail
adjournment
is not
motion.
the answer.
But
That's
is
right.
the answer? But is the answer to every time say adjournment motion or no Parliament? I've got to take a break. We'll come back with things we haven't explored. Yashwant Sinha brought up the soft drink example. In automobiles, for example, who drives the Fiat anymore? The Fiat kind of died in the 60s and 70s, or by the 80s at least. The Ambassador survives because of the government of India. If it died, would it be such a bad thing? We'll look at that after the break. On the buck stops here, we are debating whether the resistance to FDI in retail is being overly paranoid. After all, as Queen would say, video didn't kill the radio star, television didn't kill the newspaper, and McDonald's didn't kill the chatwala. Let's take final words now from our panel this evening. Let me take this back to you, Kanchan Gupta. You said that just because, certain brands may die, that doesn't mean we go back to a 1960s socialism. Just because there's an anti-corporate mood, that can't be the answer. But the analogies we're hearing today does sound like the 60s and 70s when we're talking about certain cola brands having died. Is it really about that, or is it about a deeper fear of a certain kind of homogenization that comes with globalization?
No, Barkha, the fears that we hear are not entirely misplaced, and they are not entirely unjustified. There are concerns. Now, you cannot wish them away. India is a democracy. There has to be some sort of resolution of conflicting views. Now, if you would just allow me to take a minor departure from what we are discussing. You see, the nature of Indian politics has changed radically in the past 10-15 years. And what you could do through executive decision making maybe in 1991, you cannot do it in 2011. We saw the same kind of fractured opinion over the nuclear deal.
Yeah.
And at that time, Mr. Advani had made a very purposeful suggestion, and I think it still holds good, and we should really take a very close look at it, that all major policy decisions, whether it's to do with internal affairs or with external affairs,
should be debated,
which would naturally include economic issues or reforms issues. They should be brought to Parliament for debate, deliberation, and final ratification.
Or let me take that to Suhail. So, Kanchan, sorry, because running out of time. Because you said that the government is damned if it does and damned if it doesn't. The model that you're hearing from Kanchan is for every key decision, Parliament or all parties must debate it. There can't be unilateralism.
With all respect to Parliament, Parliament is adjourned or shut down for trivia. So you can't rely on the functioning of Parliament to therefore assume that policy decisions will see the light of day. B, I think what we should actually debate is whether the policy is good for the India that Yashwant Sinha has talked about or that we believe in. I think the policy is good for the reasons that we've articulated. Now, if the opposition has a view that the policy is bad, please support it with statistical data which you can share with the country. And to have an irretractable position and to say, I will not let Parliament function, you cannot blackmail democracy by using Parliament's dysfunctionality as a crutch.
Prasenjit, after all, till there is another election, this is the government of the day.
Absolutely.
Is it entitled to no executive decisions?
Well, I don't think that it's a question of whether the government is entitled to no executive decisions. They are making executive decisions day in, day out. The point is, this is an issue which affects a very large section.
But states that don't want it are free to reject it.
No. It's not the issue. I am also accountable to the people of Punjab. It's not that just
What
because
if
I'm a
Punjab
Bengali...
farmers wanted?
No, no,
Many
but-
of them have
Yeah,
spoken
but-
in
but-
support of
but
it.
our-
The point is,
no, no,
who's
no, no.
representing the people
Yeah,
then?
so that's the whole point. See, in a democracy, the parties who are in parliament are representative of the people.
And the government has been formed. So either the communists, the BJP, the certain allies of the NDA
See,
say
Mr.
that
Seth,
we
the
don't want parliament.
problem is, you like us or not, people vote for us.
No, I
We
love
like it or
communists.
not, we like it or not, people vote for BJP.
We don't have many
and so
choices.
many
We
other.
love
Huh.
But like
The
it or
point
not,
is-
Manmohan Singh is the Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister, yes. So we all like it or not, the fact of the matter is, on this issue, the majority of the parliament is opposed to FDI in retail.
All right, we're almost
That's
at
the
the
crux of